Welcome back. Now, marketing and branding of food products for children with high salt, sugar or trans fat content as healthy products and nutritional is all over the market, all around us, from breakfast cereals to milk mixes to snacks, often with an advertising tagline linked to nutrition and health. How should one really break through this pattern and health hazard really, and be vigilant of what one consumes? Well, months after a viral video by a health influencer taking on a household favorite product, Bonvita, for high sugar content despite their health tagline, and a notice by the center to the company, Mondelez has now launched a product that's Bonvita with almost 15% less sugar. Center's notice was to take down the misleading advertisement. We also reached out to Mondelez, the company, for their response, but we haven't received any yet. I'm being joined by Hemant Himatsingka, who is the activist who did that, who shot that viral video. And before we go on to him, let me also introduce the other panelists we have with us. We have Manjari Chandra, who's the co-founder for Bontara and nutritional medicine practitioner at Max Healthcare. Thank you very much for joining us, and she's also a mother. Manjari Chandra, if I can get you in, you're a mother as well, and I'm assuming some others at least here would be fathers as well. But, specifically, you're a nutritionist. How do you handle this? Because I'm a mom. When I go to the market, I can't pick up anything from the snack bar for my 21-month-old baby. I cannot pick up anything because everything is sugar loaded. If I just turn around the ingredient box, there's not one thing that I can really pick up which is, a ready snack that I can get. Nothing. How do you handle this?
Yes, Neha, you actually hit the nail on the head. There's nothing that you can pick up from a departmental store or a market which you can think is healthy for your child. Leave alone child, not even for adults. Children, of course, even more crucial because they're in very critical stages of development, both mentally and physically. Now, the problem is that, when we look at processed, packaged, tinned, canned food, most of the time when they are branded, marketed to us, they are marketed as healthy alternatives because that's obviously a marketing pitch, yes, which may do good for people who are wanting to make it. For me and you as parents and for our children, or for people like me who practice this on a daily basis, there is nothing, as a thumb rule, there is nothing I can think of that you can quickly buy and give to your child. It's really sad, but that's the state of affairs. And I'm sorry to say this, that this is after so much of regulation and guidelines that already exist. It's not that there is no regulatory framework. There is a regulatory framework, yes, but there are ways of bypassing that regulatory framework. There are ways of working around it, using terms and claims that are not picked up by regulation, but still influence the perception of the consumer to consume it thinking that it is possibly healthy as an alternative.
Right.
We live in a different space. I just wanted to say one more thing, Sneha. The impact of bad
I'll get back to you, ma'am.
Growing.
I'll get back to you. Let me just get the introductory remarks from others. Manjari, let's just move away a little from children's intake. Let's also look at adults. WHO has certain standards of what really happens if you have excess of any of the things that they suggest, particularly trans fat, as well as high salt, as well as high sugar. These are just three things, but even otherwise, the nutrition quotient. Now, how does one really decide on what is good and what is bad in today's world, where world is so fast, it's so fast-paced? Parents are working, both the parents are working. Many times you don't have support systems at home. You have to make those choices. And it's not easy to ensure that you're making the healthy choices.
Yes, Neha, I agree with what you're saying. Let me, just briefly tell you that the amount of chronic metabolic diseases that we see, not just in adults, but even in younger population, has increased dramatically in our clinical settings. For example, let me give you a very simple example of a hormonal imbalance that is caused by being overweight. PCOS in girls. Things 20, 30 years back, PCOS was a rare sort of a condition. Now, stats say that 2 or 3 out of every young girl has PCOD in India today. And that's just one of the things that we're talking about. From autoimmunity to malignancy, to mental health, to, academic issues, to many other things, suicidal tendencies, to, of course, obesity, to micronutrient deficiencies, a whole plethora of cardiometabolic and other forms of diseases that are plaguing our young population. And, when you look at all of these diseases, a lot of things drive it. Poor lifestyle, lack of exercise, poor sleep cycles. But the large part of that puzzle is food. It's around 60 to 80% of that story. And if you're not eating it right, or if you're not consuming the right type of food, which is, by the way, not rocket science,
right.
It's not rocket science to decide what is good food. You just have to avoid bad food. Sadly, my problem is not with a particular brand. My problem is that this whole system where unhealthy food is sold as healthy. That's where things really need to be clarified, and you have to sift the right from the wrong,
Right. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. It's been a very meaningful discussion, and I do hope we'll have more such discussions. At the end of the day, it's not just about the money that we spend. It's also about what is going inside our systems. It is about our children. It is about what we grow up to become as adults. Thank you very much for joining us and watching this.
Thank you.
Thank you.